Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices. We'll be looking at the S&P and the NASDAQ, and we'll also be looking at some of the stocks that are driving these markets as well. Now, we've also got to move into strategy rather than the wave count, because with the Elliott wave count for the SP 500 here, and this is the same for the NASDAQ as well, it's quite possible to have this as the A wave, the B wave here, and then down for 1, back for 2 here, down for 3, 4 and 5 here. The market currently is pulled up to the top of our little box here. The lower end is the 50% and the top end is the 61.8%, and we're also looking at this particular number here to the 2720. 72 carries a bit of weight for us in terms of the trading levels. So this is where we're at with it. The other point here is that it's possible that we could be looking at a bullish count with wave C already in play here as such. But to work this particular count to the upside here, then we would need to look at getting support on top of the 61.8% mark, which in this case we can look at the 2720, and it would also be nice to be on the other side of this trend line coming through here. So we need to take a lot of care within this particular space here. Our aim was to trade up to, on an intraday basis up to the 2720 area. That's done, and the market's reacting from that particular space. So we could go either way from here, and I think it's good to not get fixed on a particular direction at this particular stage, and I think that this is a time for evidence gathering, and also trying to understand what triggers that we can use to go long or short. So on that basis, let's go in and have a look at both counts with this and also the NASDAQ as well. So on an intraday basis, just going straight into the tick chart here, our objective was to get up to the 2720 area here, so we're just a couple of points shy from that. But our count from our wave 4 that we were looking at through here to the upside here finishes quite nicely to this point. Now, when we were looking at this trade down here, we were either from this particular pattern here, we're either going to go long from the top of this little ABC pattern here, or if the market had failed from here and went straight down, then we would have been short on this one here. So from this one here, our target area was up at in this space here, so you should be out of the market by now on that. So what we can do now is we can bring this up to this low here to go short, because this will retest this little 61.8% retracement level here. It does appear that this counts as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here, so it's probable that we can move up from here, but we don't want to move up from here by just here, because if this market is going to fail, then this is where it's going to fail from, this little area here, the 50 and the 61.8% mark. So if we're going to go long again here, we want to kind of be a little bit clear on it. So perhaps I'll just exaggerate this here, but let's just get some sort of support on the 2720 here. But in reality, what we can look for is, I can't draw on this side of the tick chart, so I'm going to draw over here. So the market would come up to the 2700 area here and then react, which it has done here. So we can look for, if this was going to be here, this would be a little, if this was going to fail, it would be an A wave and a B wave, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then I can draw just inside here, so it should have a move up to here. So what that's going to do for us is it's going to give us this first high above the level, and the level being the 2700 area here. And then we expect the market to pan down from that point, okay? So I can draw in here as long as I get in front of that price point there. So what that means is that we can look to go long, not up here, but down further here. So we'll get the first high above the level, and then we'll get the second high above the level here, and this is the one that you can go long on. So let's just get out our coloured pencils and put that green line in here. So technically here, we can just grab this line here now, and I'll put it just on top of this one here. But you know that what I actually mean here is that it has to get this pattern here, which is a classic trading levels pattern: the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then an ABC correction, and then if the market moves up from that point, then you'll be triggered at this point here. If not, then we can look to be triggered lower in this instance. So if I could just borrow that. So the market shouldn't really come back below this point here. So that would be a place that we could look to short as well. But at the end of the day, it will be this space here. So long trades, this little pattern here, sitting on the 2700, we need to be long, okay? This move down here, as I can see it, does see it as an A, B, and C. That's taking it from this top here. But for whatever reasons, if this is the top here, then we'd be left with a 5-wave structure down here, and then we'd see an ABC to this space here and fail from here and then move down from here. So then we'd want to be short. And you can look to add to the positions too if the 2672 here becomes the retested resistance. So coming back into different pictures here, this would be the long trade setup here, or the long trade here from wave 4 here. And we would look at this as a wave 4, intermediate wave 4 already being placed, up for 1, back for 2. And this is all a bit sort of dodgy in here, and you could count it in different ways. So it's not a very sort of clear count, but basically it gives us some sort of structure to work with. In fact, this wave 1 can really be sitting where this wave 1 is here. So we look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1, and then 2 over here. It does leave wave 3 a little bit short in this instance here. So I'll just stay with this here for the time, but it's not right. That's just not right. But we'll just leave it there for the time being. So we know where our sort of long trade will come from here. On the other side of this, on the say 2-hour chart, this is where we've got it here as wave 1 low here, an A wave here, B wave here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then 5 coming into this space here. Yeah, so yeah, the same with the 4-hour chart as well. So we don't need this one here anymore, but we can put this one over here, and we can copy that now that you understand that a little bit. And we're looking to sort of take that high out here, basically working a trade from the 2700 here, if I can get that up there in the right spot. So let's just take a look at the NASDAQ, because a lot of the drivers are coming from the NASDAQ in this instance. So we can look, in most cases, the low that's in February here makes a nice A wave. It doesn't work very well for Amazon, but it works well for most other stocks. So an A wave here, an A and a B and a C for the B wave here, and then we can have this as a C wave down here of 4 being finished here, and then we'll move up further. Now, you know, we were looking at the 61.8% mark in this box here where it's got to. And you know, yes, the market can turn from there. And also, too, you know, we could just expect a small reaction from there. So it's not good to get sold or take a strong opinion on either side of it at this stage. We need to gather more evidence for this. Now, it moved up sharp and then came back, and then it took its time moving up through here. So it wasn't really displaying third wave price action in here, but still more building process. But it has moved out quite nicely since that, displaying third wave price activity in that space. So once again, we don't know if we've got an A wave here, B wave here, C wave of wave 4 here, and we'll continue up here, or we've got down for 1, back for 2, 3, 4, 5. Which is all both of them are very valid as well. And I just think that we need to be a little bit open-minded on that. So I can't recall which charts I've done here, but this will be the bullish chart here. So in this case here, the wave 4 low here, wave 1 and 2 here. and then looking at all of this as wave 1 in here, and wave 2 here, and then wave 3 here. I think this is the right way to go, by the by, with wave 4 coming into here, but we're at the 61.8% mark here and at the 6,800. So the 8 we've always called a profit-taking number, you know, so we could always expect profit-taking to come in at number 8. It's normally the first even number before the next whole number here, and that's part of the reason. But yeah, so this can certainly sort of trend to the upside. If we've been long down here, you probably would have taken profit at the 8 here. But if not, then the stop needs to stay very close in here, because it shouldn't, you know, if this is going to be a bullish market, then this level here should not be breached, because it's also breaching the top of wave 1 at that stage. So it's in a safe place at this stage. So it just depends how this this pans out through here. Yeah, this move coming down through here, we can see it on some stocks. We can see it on Apple, for instance. So Apple's come down quite strongly here from the 180 area through here. And it also makes this a little bit sort of bearish here, because if we take this as wave 1 up here and wave 2 here, then this move down through here has overlapped wave 1 and 2 here. So it makes it here. We could also, I mean, I've put, in most cases, I've put wave 5 of 3 here, and we would look at this as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave coming down here of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. But putting wave 5 here, you know, from this point here, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 and 3, and right across here for 4, and then 5 to here. So, yeah, I mean, it's like this wave 4 here would overlap this wave 1 here, so it makes it a little bit difficult here as well. But either way, the main point to take away from here is that this top here has, this top here has been overlapped by this move down through here. So in this, for Apple, it makes it bearish here. Where we look at Amazon, for instance, the move down, the move up through here, it's just not finished, even if it was counted as an ABC, because we can count this as wave 1 and 2 here, then 1 and 2 here, and this is all of the third wave moving up here. So then we'll have a fourth wave and a fifth wave. So even if we looked at this in terms of an A wave here and a B wave here, and then going up here for a C wave up here, we would still have another move here. We'd need to see a wave 4 and a wave 5 to move up here, because of this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. I mean, Amazon's, you know, one of the strongest stocks out there, so, you know, it's the one that's picking up the slack and taking things higher. So we need to keep a little bit of an eye on it, but certainly showing a bullish pattern there. Then we get stocks like Twitter. I haven't... we had a count for this, which I did put out, and we were looking for this top to come into play here, which it has, and looking at this move down. So this is moved up here, but this is also moved up in a corrective wave, because this little move in here is actually in 3 waves, so it makes it corrective. So this can be an A and a B and a C wave here, and then that would be pulling into this 50-60% here. It could also make another little high in here as well, but up into that space there, one more little push up. But yeah, we're just waiting for this here too. We're not going to be long or short here. I was thinking that the original chart that we put out would be looking for a wave 4 to come back into this space here for a really good buying opportunity here. So we'll just wait here for a little while until we see what we've got. We could also, you know, if I've made a mistake, we can also look to go long on top of 33, because that's the top of group 1, and we know that if we get support on top of number 3 here, then the orders will be pulled up to 35 rather than being pulled down to 30. But until that becomes a tested support, the market depth wouldn't have sorted itself out, and we just need to wait for that trigger there as well. So, yes, coming back to this market here, I'll come back to the 4-hour chart here. So for the 4-hour chart, here for the NASDAQ. It suits quite nicely as an A and a B, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 coming into this space here. And we'd been long in this, and we can be long again if we get a move that's going to sit on top of 6.8 and move up from that point. I don't think we're going to be able to work this out within the next session. I think it's going to take probably until the end of Monday session or the end of Tuesday session to actually get in amongst all of this and you know, gather enough evidence to sort it out. But I think that we've done our job getting up to this particular point, and now we need to just gather some evidence to see if we're going to get a further move to the upside. On our charts on our website, we do have a count that takes it one more move up to here for the top, and then down from here, just to make things a little bit more sort of complicated. So be mindful of that. If you are long up through here and the market moves back down below the 6,800, then you'll need to be on the short side there as well. All right, I'll just leave it at that. Nothing sort of really occurring. The other thing that I just wanted to have a look at, which I meant to have a look at before, is Alphabet, because it's got the best ABC pattern in terms of an A wave, a B wave, and down for the C wave here. And it's also approaching its 61.8% mark as well. So I really want this to play out here in the classic trading levels pattern here, the arrival, the reaction, then the first high above the level. So we'll get a setup on if this is going to continue to the upside here, we'll get a position on this at the right time on the 1,100 as a tested support on, you know, from a corrective pattern here. So don't think that we're missing too much. There are leaders and there are followers, and we can make moves in amongst all of them, but we just really want to know that we're on you know, that we're actually on a trend at this particular stage here. Alrighty, cheers.